Growing up in Reno, Sparks used to be 4 miles down this street. It was all cow pastures and fences and grass. Well, that's all changed.
This land has produced legends, people that touched lives. Their influence crosses time.
Eventually, water reaches a resting place where it infiltrates the earth or evaporates back to the sky.
Hey, this is cool. I'm stepping back in time.
Alongside Highway 95 sits an old-time drive-in, once called the Sage Crest. Thrills that once filled our imagination from the front seat in our car.
We've seen a lot of change. Now, sometimes we can reach back and look at the years through the eyes of those who lived them.
I'm Jack Sutton. Thanks for joining us. 40 years sounds like a long time, but they came and went so fast. Over the next half hour, we'll share those years and introduce you to a few people whose stories added so much to the fabric of the Silver State. Folks like 103-year-old Bertha Cliff Scott, born in 1890 in Franktown, Nevada, and Gabber Ngi, the Austin sidewalk philosopher, and others who invited us into their lives to share their perspective of Nevada.
Hi, Bertha. How you doing? Bertha? Are you warming up?
Today you'll find Bertha Scott in Carson City. She injured her leg recently and recovers here with the help of some friends. But she still lives only a few miles from the place of her birth.
My father was a rancher out in Washoe Valley. And in the early days, he raised vegetables and berries, and he would make weekly trips to Carson City and Virginia City to sell his produce. And it was fun. Everybody seemed to be so congenial. And as youngsters, we used to play pump, pump, pull away and baseball, and the school was about a mile away from our home, and I walked there every day except stormy days. And if there was snow on the ground, Dad would take us in the sleigh. The bottom of the sleigh was covered with straw, and Mother heated bricks in the oven so that we could put them to our feet to keep our feet warm.
Today the Cliff Ranch operates much the same as yesterday, run by Bertha's nephews. These scenes of modern life along Franktown Road help to put a perspective on fond memories of yesterday.
Well, I think Nevada has made wonderful strides. So all in all, I've had a very nice life. As a rule, everything's been very nice.
When we think of the guidance we have received this year, some individuals stand out. In my travels, that person is Gabber Ngi.
The town itself has never been changed. Ever since I come here and way back about 20 years ago, it's still the same way. You see the yellow building back of us?
Gabber's an observer of life as it affects the big picture and as it influences our daily activities.
And then they got that old International. That's been an old building ever since the beginning of time. I worked in that thing as a dishwasher, carpenter, all kinds of jobs in that thing.
Gabber keeps an eye on his world. He's also got some tips about watching his health.
The prune is soft, see? Key on soft.
Why do you eat them? Are they good for you?
Yeah, they're good. They're good for you. You better not eat too many, because they got a lot of sugar. Awful lot of sugar. About 4 is the limit. People are in a hurry. I've noticed that they say the people are in a hurry, but they are in a hurry all over the world. Everybody's trying to rush. Hurry up, let's get this done. That's why we have so many wrecks, man. That's easy. Over here, we run only about 45, 50 at most.
Thanks, Gabber, for your observations and sharing of experiences. Our new year will truly be brighter.
When you live out in the hills like this, you have to improvise. Make your own electricity and get your own water. There's no radio or TV. Well, what would you expect?
Well, we came up here first interested in gold. That's the reason we came up here. And leased these old dumps up on the property here. But we didn't think we'd ever be here this long. We're still here. It's a beautiful spot, though. Got a beautiful scenery out here. You see the old mountain and snow on them, and quite a view. Working old dumps and stuff is very low grade. If you had to make your living at it, you'd probably starve. There originally was 7 watering troughs up in old Seven Troughs Canyon. That's what they named it, Seven Troughs, for the watering troughs. They had mill up here. All that big concrete was there. They had a big ball mill here. Pretty modern plant for its day, I think, with cyanide. Unfortunately, it didn't have much ore. You see that old thing right there? That's the stamp mill. That was built by Joshua Henry in San Francisco. Years ago he built those. And back here up above it's a bin. Put the ore in there and feed it to the stamp mill. Now that stamp mill has a great big cam up there, and it big stamps that drop. This cam lifts them and drops them. That's what busted the ore up. And they had here a table or something to concentrate the gold. It's an old machine. Obsolete. They don't use them anymore.
Seven Troughs has all the amenities of home. Oh, there's a few sacrifices, but only small ones. And to help pass the time out here, Arthur entertains with his Ubaphone.
People living out here in the early days when they were mining. So along this range of mountain, I think there were several thousand people living. How long am I going to stay? Well, when I start getting real old, I think I can't take it anymore. I'll get out.
Travel out north, along the Smoky Desert, where the flats meet the Black Rock. Here you'll find the place gourmets have sought for more than 30 years. Here, you'll find Bruno's.
Now, a lot of people from Reno coming over here, tour bus. Like today, we got a lot of people from California.
Hey, how they hear about you?
I don't know, but here, everybody coming every day.
Bruno came to Nevada from his native Italy. Only appropriate, his most famous recipe reflects the heritage. Only appropriate that he serves his ravioli.
Put in his sauce to make ravioli a little more tasty.
Bruno makes the ravioli from a secret recipe with familiar spices and mixtures. Maybe if we watch, we'll pick up some tips.
Little Parmesan cheese. This is the ravioli, see? We take it out of the water one at a time like this. This is the Bruno Fermo ravioli.
Bruno says it's the freshness that counts and taking good care of folks. But I think the most important ingredient, Bruno himself.
Fun, see the people eat good food.
Taking time for some great ravioli. At one time, you could walk down C Street here in Virginia City and pass 100 saloons and 17 breweries. You'll still find quite a few saloons, but only one brewery, the Union, down in the basement, under the bar that bears its name.
Now our brewery is one of the sterilized areas, of course. One of the problems with brewing is, of course, you have to wash everything afterwards, but we always have to wash everything before.
John Buey does the work down here, much the same as brewers did 100 years ago, making beer from scratch.
What we've got in here is about 80 pounds of material, and this is so we can brew 50 gallons. Yeah, all right. This is called a mash tun. This is where we actually cook the starches out of the grain. We'll cook it for 2.5 hours roughly. After we've done that, then we'll dump it all down in here. This is called a lauter tub.
The secret to a successful beer, knowing how much of what to put in, and when to mix it, and when to wait.
We have a special wort cooler that we use, moving it from the brew kettle to the primary. Now this wort, this is not wort anymore, this is beer. It's already fermented, it's ready for lagering and aging.
It's been so long, hey, I'm glad to see you, raise your glass.
The finished product finds its way up here, into Rick Hoover's saloon. Rick's the brewmaster, but you'll usually find him behind the bar, tending to patrons when the brew is ready.
And then he comes down and checks on me, make sure that I'm doing everything correctly. So far, so good. We sell everything we brew. We have no excess.
Well, the best. When you're with good friends, having good times, don't just have a beer.
A sign of permanence for an early western town was the construction of a courthouse. Not many of the old ones remain, but in Belmont, conservationists have saved this one. Today, the judicial structure welcomes a special visitor.
Belmont has this beautiful Italianate design courthouse. This was the most important thing in the courtroom, the stove, because Belmont is a high elevation and I imagine it was cold in the winter.
The journey of a lifetime has brought Peter back to the beginnings of his legacy. 3 generations of Judge Breens have held court in central Nevada, beginning with one who traveled the circuit in a horse-drawn wagon.
And that he came from Ireland, not knowing anybody, came out here and the only tool he had was an expert knowledge of the English language that all Irish kids had. And he turned it into a great success, but continued on in dispensing justice the way he thought it should be.
The value of a courthouse lies in its ability to improve our lives, like it did our forefathers. They remind us of our heritage.
I'm just impressed by the circumstances under which he rendered justice as compared to what I did, which was a lot easier in a more modern setting.
The greatest early hotel in Nevada's 150 years is the Goldfield Hotel, a grand lady and still beautiful today.
Welcome to the Goldfield Hotel, the most haunted hotel, I think, in the world. It has so much class. I'm glad that you're here to see it. Oh, it's a beautiful rundown. We have over 100 visitors here that live here. They chose to live here after they died, and this is where they chose to live.
Some believe all places where people have lived and died are haunted, residual energies left behind, so emotionally attached that they can't leave.
And we're going down to the employees area, and we're going into Elizabeth's room with the flowers.
Virginia brings flowers to communicate with the energies that linger here, offering a measure of comfort to spirits, who she claims return the courtesy.
There's a young lady who lives in my favorite room, and she's been there forever. And she talks with the flowers. They move. They're my family. I love them. I was drawn here. I think God sent me here.
Might our spirits linger after we're gone? Opinions vary. The only thing that really matters is your own opinion. I, for one, appreciate the opportunity to visit and experience something that can't be explained. But most of all, I appreciate the time spent with this grand old hotel. Thank you, Virginia.
The motto of Nevada's agriculture is, we grow things here, like crops and cows and sheep and kids. An important part of Nevada's economy is the cattle industry. 90% of farms and ranches here in Nevada are family operations, going back generations. Operations run by Nevada families like these.
When cowboy work gets underway on the open ranges of the West, the work gets started at a cow camp, a home away from home during roundups, an operation under the watchful eye of one person, the camp boss. At the Minneberry gathering, that means Aunt Jean.
Excellent.
The garlic's going in.
The garlic is going in the lamb roast. Then the lamb goes in the Dutch oven, and then I build a fire in the pit over there and bury the Dutch oven. This is an annual get-together. We call it our cow camp, buckaroo camp, Rock Springs. They went to gather the calves. They're going to bring them into the corral, hopefully about noon, 6 hours from now, and we'll have lunch and then we'll brand.
The center of all good camps is the cook shack, a gathering place, an organizational center, and of course, the home of the cook.
For 33 years.
Shack for 33 years.
Show me a kitchen. I don't believe it.
Okay. This is the old original cook stove that I still use to cook on. Wooden coal stove. This is a new addition my husband brought up for me this year, and it's mainly used just to cook coffee because it starts quickly and it's really handy.
33 years. How much longer do you guys want to keep working out of this building?
As long as we possibly can. That's why we bring the kids up here. We've got children here from ages 1 on up. And we're hoping that the grandchildren can continue using this.
Oh, give me a place where the cowboys and their families roam, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, especially when Gene's Cow Camp is home. Once upon a time in a land not so distant, pioneers came to Nevada. One family, the Marvells, settled in the northern Lander country. Another, the DeLongs, located a bit to the west, in the Humboldt. Today their legacy lives on. Katie Marvel was raised on the range, married a cowboy named Will DeLong. This farmer champion rodeo cowgirl continues the heritage.
You learn things about perseverance and the value of hard work, and everything a rancher has are things that they've worked for. You're definitely self-reliant, but you're also reliant on your neighbors. All the ranchers in this area and in other areas help each other. You trade help. They come and help you when you need it. You go and help them. Come here, baby.
Katie's teaching school, travels many miles to get there. She'll take a break soon. A new buckaroo is due in December. A new generation to carry on.
You know, I love Nevada. People will come here, and especially people from the east, and just think it's dry and ugly and what does a cow eat? But anyone who's lived here all their life or been raised here, you just have an appreciation for the rugged natural beauty of Nevada. It's just made me appreciate home and family and who I am.
Teaching kids about their family's heritage provides them with an important connection to their own identity, understanding the traditions of their ancestors.
I've been a cowgirl my whole life. My parents and for generations, and my kids. My husband's a cowboy and rancher. Our kids are actually 6th-generation ranchers on both sides.
The road to becoming a successful rancher includes roping, riding, and other lessons learned at the rodeo.
They started from an early age riding horses and helping on the ranch, and they wanted to do it. They love rodeo, same as all of us. I have 3 kids, my son Billy, daughter Maddie, and daughter Louise, and my son rides bucking horses, saddle bronc, and steer wrestles and ropes, and my daughters barrel race and pole bend and rope and goat tie, and just a family event.
A mother gives her children stepping stones to success. She's always there to lend her support.
I'm just proud of how hard they work and how hard they try and their motivation. I'm proud that they're following in the family traditions and keeping the Western heritage alive. They're good kids, they work hard, and they keep our family values. That's what Western heritage is about, strong family values, work ethic, and they're displaying all of those traits.
When settlers moved to the west, they brought to this new land traditions born of generations past, traditions of work and of family and home. And when the open land gave way to a more settled routine, they brought along their schools. Often the only requirement to start a school, a teacher and a few students in a one-room building.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States Students need to be in school, and it's 50 miles to a different school. They would have to go to Bottle Creek School or to Denial. K through 6th grade here, but if I had 7th and 8th graders, they would be going to school here too. And anyone, when the mine was active, then they had about 14 kids here, all grades and all ages. And if you can imagine 14 deaths in this room, it's pretty difficult. They're with me all the time. I'm with them all the time. The challenge of teaching anybody, anywhere, is the fact that you can see them grow. And if they come back like this year, I'm not sure that I taught them very much last year because of the summer vacation, because I'm sure they never cracked the book. But these kids, I don't have a teacher's pet. They're all my pets. I mean, they all know what I expect from them.
Your great-grandfather may have sat at a wooden desk, or your grandmother pondered the riddles of addition, or Uncle John practiced the ABCs, all in a one-room school. Such a place as this fosters a closeness and support, and the foundation for achievement.
But I'd say this is a very good group, and they are mannerly, and we don't have any discipline problems at all. These kids are maintaining their average, and I think that they're succeeding.
When the chill moves into the basin from its northern home, and the winds of winter cover the range, the work of the cowboy does not end. Responsibilities can only be trusted to the top hands, those with experience and the will to get the job done, those who accept the legacy of the buckaroo.
The Winter Creek Ranch is, we buy the bulls and they have the calves and then we sell them.
Now, how long have you lived out here at Winter Creek Ranch?
Well, just about my whole life.
And what do you do out here?
Well, I take care of my chickens over there, and check the cows and that stuff.
Well, we try to keep everything to a schedule. We have school in the mornings, which I have to drive 15 miles to make the bus stop. Feed animals in the morning, water chickens, make beds, same as probably a lot of people.
It's expected that the kids get involved in the family business, and little persuasion's needed. The life might be hard, but as the kids put it, it's also a lot of fun.
You have to have grass and hay, and every year before we sell them, we got to have the vet come out and check them.
Learning the ranch skills comes early when the family counts on every hand. But those are lessons learned eagerly, because that's the cowboy way.
Is they're learning to love animals, and they're learning to take care of them, learning to tell if an animal is sick, not feeling well, and that animals have to be fed, and they come a lot of times before we eat. We make sure they eat.
The fondest memories in life often happen in childhood, and in a place that nurtures growth, and those memories define who you are.
I live out here on the Sadler Ranch, and I've lived out here my entire life. Today we're at the north end of Diamond Valley, and today we're going to be branding some calves with lots of friends and family. We herd them into where we're going to brand them. Then we have to push the cows into the pens where we want them to be.
Today's Claire's birthday. The happy birthdays got said, but the party doesn't start until the chores get done.
That's always the case. The cows come first. Because we need to get our calves branded so that we can identify them when they're up in the mountains, and also to get them vaccinated so that they stay healthy. A family ranch is a ranch that's run by the family. My brother, mom, dad, sister, some of our ranch hands, and that's it. We always need people out here to help us brand, so this is my best friend Trinity, and she's helping me vaccinate the calves.
Birthdays remind us just how far we've come. It's a day to feel special and to realize how much people appreciate you.
I get to work with horses and cows and so many other animals. I appreciate being part of all this.
The county fair is in full swing. Lots of traditional rodeo events, but the festivities today also have a special theme.
The Eureka County Fair is what we like to call a family fair, and so we have one day, Friday, that's all for kids, where they get to do a lot of the events that prepare them for events they can do later on as an adult, but also just ranch type events. Most of them are ranch kids, local and surrounding areas, from the rural areas.
These kids eat, sleep, and breathe everything horse and rodeo. Competing with others helps to improve their skills.
I think a lot with agriculture and ranching, it teaches kids about hard work, a good work ethic, and how to be good stewards of animals and the land. And so participating in these just builds upon those skills for them later on in life.
Everybody achieved their goals today. The lessons of a legacy are learned, and the kids, well, they just had a lot of fun.
I just get so proud to see them go out there and try their hardest, whether they win or not, when they have control over their horse and they're going out there and roping and putting themselves out there. It's just amazing to see because they grow and they learn every time they do it, and every year they just get better and better, and that's what makes me so proud watching the kids.
Oh, those memories. Billy DeLong, the high school rodeo star, now competes on a collegiate team in New Mexico. And Suzanne Montero, that blonde girl with the pigtails, the third grader at the one-room school, is an educator and coach for the next generation. We'll get out to Nevada's backroads and bring more stories on Nevadans doing extraordinary things that add so much to the legacy of the Silver State. And you can continue watching those stories right here on 2 News Nevada and on our website, 2news.com. From everyone here at 2 News Nevada, thanks for watching.